summer. I think we've made great improvement with our strength levels. We've made consistent improvement with our body comps. Our body comps are comparable right now to, the teams that have achieved their full potential in the past, and I'm very pleased with that. Quite frankly, it's a special thanks to our training department, our strength and conditioning coaches, Jim Kramer and Ryan Napoli, for doing a outstanding job in preparing those guys. But most importantly, our players have shown up and they've been competitive. They've been improvement driven and they've been tough through all three segments of our program so far.
All right, and coach, final question I have for you is that you've had a busy summer with camps, with players and everything, and also getting acclimated again in Fargo. What's the biggest thing you've learned so far from your program as you go into your first year?
Well, hiring people in July is a little bit tough. We've hired an operations guy here late. We've hired a recruiting guy a little bit later than I would like. Just learning, first time head coach. There are certain times of the year that it's easier to go through the full process and to navigate interviews and to visit with people to make best hires possible. But I'm very pleased with how our staff has come together. There's a good mix of, NDSU tradition and experience and knowledge with some talent, new perspective, and youthful energy. I think we've attacked the recruiting process as good as we can right now. I look forward to looking at the areas that we can improve in. June was challenging, but it was exciting and it was productive for us. Where we stand in our minds in a acquisition of talent right now, we feel really strong about that, and I look forward to building the relationship stronger with those families and the kids that we do have verbally committed in this class. I think I'd be remiss if I didn't say a special thanks to our administration in this early term of my career as a head coach. But Dr. Cook, Matt Larson, Todd Phelps, Ryan Peralt, Derek Lang, and Colleen Hempstead with compliance. They've all been there to answer questions and to find answers rather than saying, "Hey, we can't do this." And so I'm real appreciative of them. And then I think our local media here does a good job of getting some things out. And I know NDSU is always looking to improve ways to connect with our fan base.
All right, thanks, coach.
Thank you, Coach. Our next question comes from Kelly Burke. Kelly.
Hey, Coach. Long time no talk.
Yeah, how you doing, Kelly?
Good. How are you?
I'm great.
How much of a difference will having 27 seniors be in your first season back now as head coach?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting question coming off of a personnel meeting yesterday. In the thing it brought me back to, right? Like some of this stuff is my third time back here to Fargo and to North Dakota State. We have to be conscious of leveraging a veteran group, but we have to be smart with them. They've played a lot of football. They've practiced a lot. There's a lot of repetitions under their belt, and we've got to not only sharpen them and sharpen the sword, but we have to be very aware where they're at from a repetition standpoint. I think everybody in our program, including myself, can improve daily. We're going to try to go 1-0. We're going to try to bring back some of the Kleimanisms. We're going to embrace the process, learn to love it again. And we want to have fun when we're on this journey. The journey's as simple as this. Can we reach our full potential as a football team this year? I think there's a lot of programs in this conference that when they do reach their full potential, they have a shot to make a run at something pretty cool. And we're going to stay really level-headed. At the forefront will be our core values and our standards, and then just taking advantage of each and every opportunity, starting with Sunday and reporting on the 28th and practicing on the 29th.
What are your biggest question marks in filling the 3 starting spots on your offensive line?
Well, I just think to see how the camaraderie, how communication, the cohesiveness all shakes out. And then, quite frankly, I think one thing that I learned about coaching the O-line at Iowa is oftentimes we would grade out individually at a high rate. But if they all decide to take turns of making a mistake from play to play, it just doesn't go very good. So cohesiveness and consistency in applying and being actionable to what our standard is up front is going to be imperative. And we have some time, but that time is starting to shrink. And so some guys have separated, I think, this summer, and have positioned themselves in a better position to be in the top 7, and then to find out, okay, who are going to be the rotational guys outside and inside? Where's our depth going to come from? I do like the depth. We may be a little bit young or inexperienced, but no one cares. The world don't care, and we got to go out and perform. There's some guys that we're excited to coach. That's the bottom line, and I think they're hardworking, and we'll get better day by day.
Finally, last year, Cam Miller and Cole Payton, they led the team in rushing touchdowns. So what kind of balance do you envision having between the quarterback run game and your actual running back room, and the way you guys utilize fullbacks?
Yeah, I think that's another that's spot on. That's been a directive that I've had for our staff is, I would like for us in a year or two here to have a running back on a poster of our schedule. We want to have a guy that we can highlight. We want a very strong group with the running back group. I don't think the past offensive staff did a poor job at all. It just, the way it shook out is Cole Payton and Cam are very capable runners. And sometimes that's the best way to create leverage, to create opportunities as far as numbers go in the run game and angles, maybe lighter boxes. And so we'll continue to look at every aspect of not only who's carrying the ball, but how do we run the ball most efficiently and try to generate some explosive plays.
Thank you, Coach.
You got it.
Coach, your next question comes from Victor Haltom. Victor?
Hi, Coach. How are you?
Good. How are you doing, sir?
Good. I'm with College Football Dogs, and I just had a question. If you would comment on replacing Matt Entz, who's headed out to Southern Cal.
Yeah, unbelievable guy, hardworking guy, terrific football coach. I've been looking and I've been searching, okay, where are we off? I'm not sure that we're off at all. We've just got to make a few more plays in critical moments. We got to be a little cleaner in big games and in big moments. We've got to eliminate some bad football at times. But, Matt won a hell of a lot of games the last 3 years, including a national title. Obviously we came up short one time and then, lost in a semifinal on a 2-point play. But, just want to mention, congratulations to South Dakota State getting done again last year. Matt Entz is a really good coach, left this program in really good hands. There's some really good players at the top of our roster with the 27 seniors. And I appreciate Matt's openness, willingness to communicate with me on certain topics and giving me answers. And I look forward to staying connected with him, especially with Kellen Entz still being on the football team.
Thank you, Coach.
Coach, your final question comes from Zach Borg. Good morning, Zach.
Good morning, Coach. Zach Borg with Dakota News Now in Sioux Falls. I know you've been away about 8 years now from the Missouri Valley, but in returning, what you've seen so far, what's changed within the other programs that you've seen? What's different and what looks similar? What are some of the newer challenges that you see as you come back into the league?
Well, I think one of the things we've talked a lot about, is community and team, and being a Bison is pretty cool, right? But we got to have a chip on our shoulder. I still remember a time, I think it was Jeff Kopak asked me, or asked Coach Bull at the time, how are you going to catch Northern Iowa? Man, that's a good looking football team. And, as time has gone on, NDSU has had a lot of success. We want to continue to have our success, but I guess I have a great deal of appreciation for the programs and the institutions and how much improvement they've made. Man, is this league tough? I'm sitting here looking at the standings and the final standings from last year, and it's good football with good coaches, really tough, physical football players. And in this conference, specifically up front, when you talk about the front, the tight ends and the O-line, and you talk about the defensive lines and the linebackers that we see, very not comparable. I would say in a lot of cases, much better than most mid-major football conferences out there. And it's an honor to be the head coach at North Dakota State and to be part of this conference that has continued to improve. So many teams in our league have made, some decisions, have made some facility adjustments to to be better. And I have a great appreciation and respect level for that. At the same time, I really appreciate what we've done here at North Dakota State to keep us very competitive, and we understand the standards here and look forward to trying to achieve our goals this year.
Thank you.
And that's Tim Polasek's final comments there. We'll break. We come back. Mike McFeely in studio. We'll listen to we'll playback of that, get some thoughts from Mike. Hour 2 of Hot Mike. Back after this.